Good morning, everybody. It's morning to me anyway. I don't know when everyone else will come across this, but I'm just sipping on a little bit of coffee, get the energy flowing, and my sage bundle started breaking apart here, but just doing a little bit of a cleanse, clear out that energy, fresh for the day. Feeling like I did a read. If you haven't seen it, I did a late night read last night with a new deck that I had gotten from a friend of mine since I started my channel. She sent me the Universal Celtic Tarot, or Celtic. I know to different people they pronounce it differently. I always knew it as Celtic, but and I said that last night too. I know some people, you know, it's not pronounced that way. You know, I think it's pronounced differently to everybody, really. I think it just depends on where you're from, right? Like, but it was a good read with these. The energy is different with these cards. Some of the images are very different. Like what they depict is very different from the traditional like Rider-Waite decks. And there's no guidebook or anything with this deck, so it's kind of like I was just feeling the energy on the cards. So got my Witch's Oracle. Where do I want to start? I guess that's the question, right? I feel like I want to start with the traditional and then maybe move into, well, you will use these are the three energies that were calling to me as I started out this morning. So I'm going to stop procrastinating. Let's shift these to the side for a minute. We're just going to see what comes out. And before I start, I'm just going to take a quick little sip of the last bit of my coffee. And okay, let's you know what? I'm not sure how that's going to sound. I have a fan going next to me, and so it might put like a little bit of a hum in the energy. All right. I'm not going to take, we got a whole bunch of bundles, but some of the energy here, we've got Seven of Swords. I'm not going to take that though, because I only just got started here, so it's kind of like a thief energy. Made me feel like somebody stole your heart. That one seems to want to come. Oh, okay. Yep. This wants to come out, apparently. It came out again. Yeah. All right. That's kind of funny. Somebody stole your heart. And they've become the center of your universe. Somebody stole your heart. It's funny how that was meant to come out. That was meant to come out here. I laugh at things like that because to me that's not coincidental. When I sit down to do a reading and something like that happens, it's like, yeah, no, that was meant to come out the first time, you know? All right. It feels like this person, though, is maybe holding back on committing. They might have... Now, listen, this does not have... Seven of Cups is about... Some people say options. I also say it can also be opportunities, which are two different things, right? Options, I think of multiple people. Opportunities can be other things aside from relationship stuff that they have going on. It can be career, family, you know, various other endeavors, maybe, you know, side hustles and friends and multiple other things that can come into play here that may be keeping them from commitment. And I feel like this Queen of Swords is calling upon you to kind of decipher that. Like use your inner wisdom, your inner voice, that mind of yours, you know, go within and, you know, I heard the word precision, you know, in terms of deciphering what this Seven of Cups is. It's going to vary for some of you. For some people, it's going to be options. Maybe this person is not committing because they've had, you know, they've been playing the field and they're keeping a roster and they have options. And in that case, I have to tell you that I'm not saying that, you know, that should be an automatic, you know, use that sword and cut them off. You know, sometimes maybe that person is feeling like you've moved up to the front of that roster. I hate that word, really, to be honest. I hate that term and idea of like people keeping rosters. But I also understand the concept of it. It makes sense why it's used so often in today's world. But you may very well have, they might even uphold you and pull you to the front, and they may be contemplating saying, you know what, you may be worth letting all those people go, whatever the case may be. I know some people be like, well, if I'm an option, then they need to just take me off. Well, guess what? Maybe they had options prior to meeting you, and maybe you're now inspiring them to cut all that off, right? Like this Queen of Swords, that's what it feels like. It feels like you may be insisting that they cut him off, or they may internally already be in this energy of feeling like they are voluntarily ready to cut everybody else off for you, right? I kind of like that energy. It's it's very, I don't want to say demanding. It doesn't feel like you're demanding it, but it feels like the energy is like involuntarily demanding it. Like they know, it feels like they know that they've met this person. I feel like you may have stolen their heart just as much as you've stolen, or I can't even speak straight. I hate when I do that. It feels like you may have stolen their heart just as much as they have stolen yours. That's what I was trying to say. With all my little tongue tie there. You know, but again, the Queen of Swords, it's precision in your perception, right? Like, use your intelligence on this one. Use your intuition as to what this is and how this pertains to you. Let's just see here. I feel like we're good on this deck, so let's just put that to the side there. Let's continue. Let's get some clarifiers with this Celtic deck. Let's just see. Let's see if this kind of confirms what we were feeling here. But yeah, I feel like you have stolen Two of Wands. Two of Wands. This Two of Wands is interesting. You know what? This goes along with what I was saying with how they were ready to cut the roster. Like the Two of Wands in the traditional is just someone looking out kind of at the world from their vantage point, thinking of their goals, thinking of where they want to, you know, put their power and where they might be headed, right? Where they should put their focus. I feel like, look at this card. I feel like they know where their focus is. Their focus is on you. Remember how I said here with the Queen of Swords, you know, about cutting the other options, like they're ready to cut the roster. This reminds me of that energy of like them being in their own energy where they're setting their little black book on fire. Like they're burning the old, right? Like you've got the Two of Wands back here. And it's interesting. She's got little dolls here. It reminds me of like little voodoo dolls. But it almost, and you know, this bigger statue type, what's the, it's like they're not twigs, but it's, you know, those traditional, it's like those wooden bundles that are made. I know that there's a term for it. If somebody watching knows what I'm trying to get across, I know that there's a name for these. I cannot think of it at the moment, but I know a lot of like older witch type movies, you come across this type of thing, and it's you know, kind of like, I don't know, you could consider it almost as if like some people would look at this and almost think that you've put a spell on them and they're ready to burn down like the rest of their world for you, right? Like, because she's got the voodoo dolls type thing over here. Like, I don't feel like it's that. I feel like they almost naturally feel like you've put a spell on them, but in a good way. Like, they're under your spell in the sense that they're ready to let go and burn down everything else, let go of all their other attachments and things for you, that queen. That's what this feels like. So you have stolen their heart, and they are ready to burn down their world and cut off their attachments, burn that little black book of theirs. They're ready. I like this. It's interesting. That sun energy, you are their sun. You are the center of their world. They're ready to put you on in that place and revolve around you. We've got the Emperor. They want to be your emperor. They want to establish a world and be the leader. Feels like they're ready to take the reins and establish something real. That's what that feels like. You know, a masculine man who is truly in his masculine wants to lead you, and not, you know, some people will come in with that feminism and say, oh, I don't need a man to lead. I mean in the good ways. A man who wants to lead you in the sense that he may offer you, you know, that traditional role of house and home and family. That doesn't mean that you have to, you know, be the wife that stays home barefoot and pregnant if that's not what you want. But I feel like you have a man here who, if that is what you wanted, like when you're, like if you always pictured, at least while your children are younger, being able to be that stay-at-home mom, you know, until they reach that school age type of deal, I feel like they would gift that to you. They would say, you're worth that. And if you wanted that, that's what they would be willing to do for you. Again, doesn't have to be that. If that's not how you want, but I feel like you, knowing that a man would step up and provide that to you if that's the way that you wanted to have your family set up, that is a good man. That's a partner. And that's the type of energy that you want in a man. You know, in a partnership. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, male, female. Take the roles as needed, as masculine, feminine. You know, I'm straight, so I tend to say man and woman. But take the roles as it applies to you. That's fine to do so. Let's see if we get a little bit more energy here. Let's see. I like where this is going, though. It feels like, you know, recently I've been doing, like, we're here, we just approached spring equinox. I don't know when, you know, you may come across this, my watchers. But at this time, as I'm doing this, we're right there at the spring equinox. So it's about change. It's about taking that next leap of faith. Oh, and that one just flew. Ace of Cups. Emotional offer. There you go. They're coming in with an emotional offer. I like that. And that just, that came flying out. That's a definite, offer. If they haven't come forward already, they're probably in that space where they're figuring out how to do so, how to approach it. Four of Wands, because they see long-term with you. That's exactly what this is. They see a home with you. They see family life. Like I was saying, like that Emperor who's ready to offer you, if you wanted that traditional role, he's ready to offer you family life. So we're gonna, let's see if we just get some let's just see if we have any more messages to come through. I feel like this message is very clear. You have a masculine energy that you stole their heart, they stole yours. You've met your person. You know it, they know it, and they're letting go of their options. Yeah, because there is fire and passion here. You make them feel like their heart is on fire, is what I just heard. And I want to point out too, when I picked up this deck, I noticed that this fertility card was on the bottom, and it is back on the bottom of the deck again. So for some of you, it doesn't have to be that, you know, not everyone wants kids, but it doesn't, and it doesn't have to mean that like you're going to move right into, you know, having a family right away. But for some of you, it might. You know, I was talking about the family life, that if you wanted to be that stay-at-home mom and wife, you know, while your kids are young, or whatever the case may be. I feel like that's confirmation of that. And you know what? I feel like that's the reading today, you guys. I want to thank you for sitting in with me. If you haven't done so already, I would appreciate a like to the video, and consider subscribing so that way I can continue to keep on bringing you more messages